Good morning, guys. I'm going to take you through a little bit of a vlog in this video because I want to update you on how the marathon training is coming. Also, I am going to be doing a giveaway at the end of this video for some Ghost supplements, so make sure you stay through the end of the video to qualify for that. How my own Transform program is going. Right now, I was inspired to start this video because I'm sitting here saying nothing went right this morning. That's where my mindset went. It's almost 1 o'clock. I haven't left the house yet. I have a 15-mile run I need to complete this morning. And I spent 2 hours trying to figure out an email automation with MailChimp that, long story short, I didn't set it up correctly, all right? So I'm having this moment of panic, like, this is not how I intended the day to go. I thought my run was already gonna be happening, and just kind of getting into that like bad, almost pity mindset, if you will, that poor me, the day didn't go exactly how I planned thus far. So in my mind, I'm like, so what, Kara? These are the times that regardless, you have to find the silver lining. And even Jason said to me, maybe you didn't figure it out correctly, but you're learning. And learning doesn't always happen in an hour, 2 hours. I think I get quickly frustrated with myself when I can't figure things out on my own. I don't want to need other people to help me. And I've been very independent in that way. And so it bothers me that I didn't quite get it right and I didn't learn it. And the end outcome was me just feeling like I wasted time, when in actuality, I feel like I'm learning things better. I don't have it all figured out yet, but I spent a couple hours this morning learning, and I'm just gonna leave it there. And yes, my run and everything is taking place later. I was normally gonna do a lift today too. I'm gonna scrap that because I think it's just gonna be too much for me, honestly. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of give you that insight into my mindset, because I feel like this is most common what I see with a lot of women, is that the second things don't go our way, we want to just throw in the towel or have that pity party or instantly fall into that emotion of stress and then let that dictate our actions the rest of the day. But we're not doing that. We are not letting those emotions dictate our actions, nor am I going to stay in that emotion. Right now, I'm going to feel happy, excited, and eager to bang out this 15-mile run. So let's get it going. I do have some rituals for how I like to prepare and get myself set up for a long run. Number one, my outfit is just like not even matching. I don't have cute winter running gear. I wear what I can from Buff Bunny, so I'll link the Colorado leggings. I'm also going to bring my Colorado jacket. I'm wearing just a seamless top or whatever, keep me warm, and a jacket for outdoors, headband, etc. In terms of what I'm bringing for rituals, I have been, did I just grab one? The Honeystinger waffles. I actually have an affiliate link with them. Not quite sure what it does. Just being fully transparent. I don't know if you get a discount. I don't know if I get commission. I have no freaking clue, but I am part of their ambassador program. These are amazing. I like these pre-run, not necessarily intra-run. They are a good source of carbohydrates, electrolytes. These, I believe, are caffeine-free, which is nice. Yes, but they do have a little fat in them, 6 grams. So that's why I don't love consuming fat intra-run. So I have to make a stop on the way to get some goos. I'm also bringing my running vest. Although it's winter time, I still wear this under my coat because I can put hydration in here. I can store my goos. I can put my phone in here. And it just makes it really, really easy to kind of keep everything I need on my person while I'm running. By the way, the little mini duffel bag from Buff Bunny Collection is so cute, and it's like $30. That's a really good deal. I've got all kinds of fluids. Hydro jug, Ghost, filled with plain water. I've got electrolytes mixed up in this one to replenish. Colder nuts, 25 out today. I will sweat. And it's almost more serious to replenish electrolytes in winter running because you don't necessarily feel like you need it as quickly as when you're running in like hot or normal temperatures, but you expend a lot of energy running in the cold and arguably lose more electrolytes. In addition, this is one of my rituals, is the Chroma Wellness, the beef bone broth. I love mixing this up. I've got some hot water here, the little Chroma mug it comes with. This will keep it hot, hopefully, for the next couple hours. Sometimes I just wait and I drink this after my run. Sometimes I will sip on this if I head back to my car. I'll sip on this intra run. This one's not high sodium though. It's decent. It's going to be about like 400 to 500 milligrams of sodium. So I guess that's pretty high sodium for bone broth. That's about standard. So this and this will help replenish my electrolytes. I'm going to stop at Fleet Feet, get some goos for my run, and let's get to it. I just got out of Fleet Feet. I went there to get my goos. I don't know. I feel weird about buying this kind of stuff off Amazon because I don't trust that it's like fresh. And I don't want to get the ick from it because I know this is what works for me. So these are the energy gels or goos if you've never heard of them. I get a combination of some without caffeine, like the S'mores doesn't have caffeine. I usually go with the chocolate flavors. Surprisingly, that's what works best for me during long runs. The sea salt chocolate is my absolute favorite. These ones are more expensive though. They're like $3 a piece. So it is a very expensive way to fuel intra for long runs. 19 carbs, 100 calories. It also has amino acids in here as well as electrolytes. So we love that during a run. And I also, these are ugly as shit, but it's not like my outfit's cute anyways. I grabbed these running gloves because I've been wearing these Nike ones that have a hole in them, so I figured it's probably time to upgrade because realistically I'm gonna need gloves on marathon day, being the fact that it's the end of March. Weather can go either way in New York. So now I've got my gloves, I've got my energy goos. I am just going to head on over to where I'm gonna run and hope that where I run is a little less windy because I'm either being a little bitch right now, but 26 degrees is not feeling like 26 degrees. Yeah, my phone feels like 26 degrees out, and I'm like, are we sure that's right? Oh, these actually feel good. Cool. Yeah, so not so optimistic about how the temperature feels out there, but what are you gonna do? You know, I ran my long run last weekend. I'm gonna eat this right now on the treadmill, and that was brutal. And I said to Jason, I don't care what the weather is looking like this weekend, I'm not doing it on the treadmill again. So
girl needs a mother, and damn it, I needed you instead of you dug for cover.
So right now I am right now I'm in a little bit of a race for time here because it's a gloomy day, and we only have so much daylight, right? It's usually dark by 5 o'clock. So I am really gonna have to not slack at all with my run. Usually for long runs, I don't do a particular pace. I kind of keep it more of an easy pace, but I may have to push my pace a little bit today if the terrain allows me to, because it's gonna be probably 2 o'clock, 10 after 2 by the time I start this run. So I don't want to be running in the dark. It's just not safe. Safety matters. Whoops. We are here and I'm going to try to get this run done as quickly as possible. We are on a deadline fighting time. I got to see what the terrain is feeling like in there. If it's slippery, I may have to abort mission and run in the road. So either way, what I got to do is do it quick. So I'm going to add on my second layer, the Colorado Zip. I'm going to throw that under my coat. I'm going to get gooed up, get my headband on, take a swig of fluids, get to the bathroom, get my watch started, and go. For anyone that doesn't run endurance or do long runs, I don't know how to explain to you how much is involved in preparation for this stuff. Like, it just feels like to have a good run, everything really just like needs to align. And it just always takes me quite a bit to even get going and get in the flow. I have nothing planned for what I'm going to listen to for the next 2 2.5, roughly 3 hours. So I think maybe I have a podcast that's an hour, but I may have to wing it the rest of the time. So I'm going to try to get some phone shots while I'm running to kind of update. And if I do get that, I'm going to update you here. Either way, we'll let you know how this goes. All right, I don't know if you guys are gonna find this as funny as me, but I bought these Skims boxers for Jason and they didn't fit him. So I'm like, that's fine, babe. I will wear them for like lounging around. The only thing is I got this little spot for a little pickle in there. So I feel a little silly wearing these because I'm not quite filling them out. But I think it's okay. They're pretty comfortable, just not the right size for Jason. But anyways, good morning, everyone. I wanted to update you on my 15-mile run. I didn't pull out my phone once. It was not 25 degrees out. That was an absolute lie. There was some massive wind chill going on. And even though I ran through like a wooded area, it covered the wind a little bit, but it was so cold I couldn't feel my body, which I think maybe worked to my advantage, but I knew it just wasn't going to be worth it for me to be taking off my gloves and pulling out my phone. You wouldn't have been able to really get anything enjoyable from that experience. I want to say though, I'm so proud of number one, how I was able to shift my mindset going into that run. Number two, I kind of kicked butt for that run. It went by so quick for me compared to being on a treadmill like I was the prior weekend, running 15 miles instead of 13, although I ran 2 more miles. It went by pretty quick. I like to do little things like little games with just breaking it up, just the way anyone would with goals you're trying to reach. You kind of put it into smaller steps. And that's the way I like to look at my runs. I went into it saying I wanted to get in 7 miles before I stopped, went to my car, rehydrated, all that stuff. So it kind of breaks it up. That might seem like it doesn't make sense how that would help, but it really does. Because you just focus on, I'm just doing 7 miles. That's all I got to get through. And then when I went back for the rest of my run, I just had to get 8 miles in. And I kind of broke it up into smaller little goals based on the podcast I was listening to. I ended up listening to 2 or 3 different podcasts, and I was really excited to just have do not disturb on my watch, on my phone. So I didn't know if anyone was texting me. And that's the way I like to keep it when I run. That is my peaceful time. That is my safe space that I don't like anyone else interjecting into. I need to be left alone, my peaceful space. So it went really well. Couldn't feel my body by the time I was done, but I will say another fun experiment I did was I was really good about my hydration that day, how I fueled pre-run, intra, and post. I got in a lot of sodium, a lot of electrolytes, so much so to the point the next morning, my mouth felt a little salty. But it was a really interesting experiment because I did weigh in on my Hume Health scale the next day. Even though I knew my weight would be up a little bit, I don't get mentally rattled by that stuff. It was interesting to look at my salt levels in my body to see where my fluid was, because a big goal is not to weigh less the next morning. It's really not for me. It's important that I've replenished not only my body's glycogen stores, but in addition, all of those electrolytes I lost. So the last thing I personally want to have happen during a successful training block is after a long run, getting on the scale the next day and having my weight be down. If my weight's down, it's likely due to post-long run, due to me not properly replenishing my body. And that's not the goal for me right now. I'm not trying to go into a crazy deficit. I'm not trying to be on a massive cut right now. I am trying to I'm trying to maintain my strength and become faster and be able to run this marathon successfully. Successfully for me means A, completing it, and B, injury-free. C, in a perfect world, feeling good the entire run while I am out there doing it. But there's so many uncontrollables with running that sometimes it's just not your day, even if all the cards you've done correctly, you've stacked them all right. Sometimes it's just not our day. So I understand that, but I'm really proud of that. My scale also gives me this metabolic age. So since I've started marathon training, my metabolic age has gone down 1 year. So I'm actually 11 years younger. So now when people ask my age, I think I'm just gonna give them a metabolic age. I think that's fair. I think that's very fair. Muscle mass is staying as needed too. Like I have not shown any changes body composition wise in my muscle mass. So I'm really proud of my progress so far. I'm a little, I don't want to say stressy because I don't like to put out that kind of verbiage, but I'm a little interested to see how this goes because I chose such a fast time frame to train for this marathon. 12 weeks is not normal, especially for someone like myself who is not conditioned for it. It would be one thing if I had already ran a couple marathons recently, I would have that muscle memory. I don't have it. It was 11 years ago. I don't have it. I have the mental strength and fortitude. I know I can physically do it, but I need to get this mileage, these long runs in the mileage in. So it's really critical for me to not really miss a single run. So I only have 8 weeks left until the marathon happens. And that just means I really have to be on my ish. I don't have a lot of weeks left to keep upping my mileage. So I did 15. Ideally, I will do a 17 to 18. And I need to get in a 20 miler. In past training, for marathons, I would do a couple 20 milers just to really get my body used to running that length of time and that distance. You don't necessarily need to run 26.2, but I would try to aim for anywhere between 20 to 23. Your mind will carry you those last few miles. So I don't know that I'll be able to squeeze that in because you also have to taper back before the marathon. Normally I would taper back 3 weeks. I might just do a 2-week taper because I don't have a lot of wiggle room to do a pullback week. Normally you have more pullback weeks. If you're not in a marathon running, I know some of this may not make sense, but it can be applied to any of your other goals in terms of those realistic expectations and how that could limit you and how you have to work with it and be smart. So I'm just trying to be as smart as possible. I just want to say that my body, I feel like responded really well to that run. I haven't ran 15 miles in a long time. I'm now getting into the mileage I haven't done in over 10 years and wasn't really that sore. Don't need much recovery post 15 miler. So I'm really proud of my body so far. I'm really impressed. I'm really grateful for everything it's allowing me to do. And now I'm just kind of figuring out my last 8 weeks with how those runs are going to look. And I am having a little flexibility just because of the weather. I think it's really important for me to be able to do these outside because the treadmill, even to run 3 miles on, is really hard for me lately. I'm having these blocks with running on the treadmill. Running on the treadmill is absolutely fine. You are still a runner. I don't know why people like to act like you're not, but for my mental health, my enjoyment, and how my gait is, my form when I run, it's so much better outdoors. And it's just gonna give me a more realistic idea of how the race is gonna go because we'll run outdoors. So whether it's windy, cold, snowing, sleeting, I kind of need to prep myself to be able to handle that. You guys, I have never made ribs in my entire life, and Jason and I got sent a package from Buck Wild Bison, and they sent us a rack of bison ribs.
Code Jason 10% off.
Code Jason for 10% off. They have, oh my God, the best meat sticks you could ever eat amongst raw food feeding for your dog, etc. Check them out. But I cooked up these ribs, all right? It was a little stressful because everyone had all kinds of different ways you have to cook them. Like literally everyone in my DMs was like, no, cook them this way. I slow cook them in the oven. I feel like Flintstones. This is what this reminds me of. So we're gonna try them out right now and see how they turned out. I don't normally eat ribs. Bison's real good, so I'm excited to see how these taste. I didn't put a ton of barbecue sauce on them during the cooking process, so hopefully that's not a mistake. I'm gonna add some more right now and give them a little taste test for you. These just look so fun, man. Why am I so excited to eat? Sometimes
Eat it off the bone.
I am eating it off the bone. I'm getting messy. I need a little bib.
You are messy.
Ooh, do a little drizzly. And should I just smear it on? Doesn't that remind you of Flintstones?
It does.
Like, watch the first bite I get will be like a fatty giblet and I'll get the ick immediately. So how exactly do you do it, people? Do you pick the whole thing up or just like one up? I'm gonna try to pick one up.
You drop all over yourself.
That's pretty good. It's a little cold. I think I let it sit out too long. It says you're supposed to let it like settle for 5 to 10 minutes out of the oven.
Look
Now,
how good this hair looks. And it's falling out. Just wait till it's fully back.
one thing I would suggest doing next time that some people mentioned is to like crisp them up after the oven, like on a grill or maybe the stovetop next time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they don't have that like crispness on the outside. So the meat, good. Barbecue sauce, good. Ribs, good.
Tender too.
This is how you want them. They say the meat should fall right off the bone, and it certainly does. So we're ribbing up. We are eating some ribs. And then Bruce Wayne doesn't know it yet, guys, but we are taking him to his first chiropractor appointment. We found a local chiropractor, so he's going to go get adjusted. Jason's going to film that entire process if we're allowed to. So if you're curious, make sure you're subscribed over on Jason's channel, Jason Corey. And, oh, Bruce is sleeping right now. Okay. I'm going to eat these ribs and then we'll be back. We are in week 1 of my Grounds Inner Circle program, which is 12 weeks long. It's the ultimate breakthrough, which I haven't really been able to talk about it much on here, but I have done some community posts. So if you're interested, there is still a limited time left to join before enrollment's closed for 3 months. But something I'm doing different with this curriculum that the women are absolutely loving is there's curriculum built in here. So you're not only getting weekly calls with me where we do live coaching and I actively help people work through their challenges, but we have weekly curriculum. So each week we're focusing on something different. And with that curriculum or modules, I'm putting the PDF into the platform, and then I'm also filming a Loom video. So I'm kind of walking through the PDF with them and just adding in some extra information. So this has been really valuable for everyone. They love the videos because they're really finding that it's making it so easily digestible. So they know exactly what they're doing. Whereas with a lot of fitness or nutrition programs, I feel like a lot of people they're like, okay, these are my macros, but I don't know what to do with them, and I don't know how to change my habits. And so that is the gap that I help bridge here. It's not just here's your macros. In fact, we don't start with macros. We start with just learning your body and learning to become more aware of the stuff that is holding you back. So I'm so excited. We have an amazing group of women in here, and this is just my ultimate passion. So I am fully confident in this program. I'm going to finish doing some videos for this today. I'm going to keep doing videos for each and every piece of curriculum that goes in here. And the other thing I do every Sunday, so I'm going to do this today, is I set up weekly action items so they know exactly what's expected of them for the week. So I kind of assign homework, if you will, but it's working on yourself. So last week was awareness week, so they were actively doing a couple different audits to really figure out what they were eating, why, how it made them feel. And we also touched on a little bit of their lifestyle and who they are right now, and then thinking about that best version of you in 12 weeks from now or whenever it is. Just who is that ideal version of you? That's something that we all need to be thinking about versus just spending each and every day feeling like you don't like yourself and I'm miserable, but I'll never change, and just getting into that vicious self-limiting thought pattern. This is what we stop here. No, I want you to write it down, visualize who you want to become, and that's the shit we're doing. We're working towards becoming the best version of ourselves. So I'm so fired up. This program is so freaking good. So I would say check it out now because enrollment will be closed for at least 3 months after this, and that's really the best opportunity to work with me. You guys, I have some really exciting news to share with you, and I think I maybe alluded to this in a vlog a while back, so I don't even know if anyone touched on it, but let me rehydrate. JJ is joining the group. Yeah, I think I touched on this in the Turkey vlog that I did when Jay and I went to Turkey for his hair transplant. I believe I had mentioned about applying for a really cool opportunity, and I can share this now. What is in my hair? Oh, it's just my weave. Don't mind me. I can share this opportunity now because I got email notification that I was accepted. So what this announcement is meet your brand new Shokz ambassador, AKA they call them Shock Stars. So if you're not familiar with Shokz, I have been using Shokz for well over a year now. I found this brand in particular because, and I will show you here, I found this brand because I really wanted headphones that didn't sit in my ear. I was like, I need something like this. I have tinnitus and I get a lot of ear pain when I run. And so they have these different styles of open ear headphones. So they just rest here and do more bone conduction when it comes to listening to music. And so I waited a long time before I had gotten a pair because I wasn't sure how good they'd be. They have a bunch of different styles actually. I have the open fit and then I have the open fit air. I also have one with a headband around the back. But nonetheless, they have been a brand that since I have found them, I have absolutely just love them. These are all I use when I'm running outdoors for safety. In addition, I do like to use these in the house too because Jay and I both work from home and there's times that I like to listen to stuff and not have him hear it or just be in my own zone, you know, just out of respect for having a small house that we live in. But sometimes I still need to be aware of my surroundings. If the dog barks, if Jason needs something, whatever. So these are awesome. Look, I don't necessarily even know what this partnership means. I know I have a link I can give you guys, but I don't even know if it gives you a discount, and I'm not really sure what's to come, but I know Shokz is involved with a lot of races, and I'm just really excited to share more of my love for running and get more involved in the running community because it's just something like that wasn't available to me 10 years ago when I was a hardcore runner because social media wasn't a thing back then when this was my #1 passion. So I hope you guys enjoy seeing this content in the vlogs because this is something I am just loving and truly feel like it is transforming me into a happier, better version of myself. So just wanted to share that little announcement. If I know more details, I'm supposed to get like a welcome kit in the mail, but nothing has come yet. I believe they are based out of China, so it could take a little bit of time, but exciting. Now, I want to talk about supplements. I'm kind of hidden back here behind these supplements, so I shall move them over. #1, what I am taking and why, and #2, what I feel like you all should be taking. This is the #1 question I consistently get asked, and I asked you all for feedback on what you wanted to see in the Transform series. And this comes up time and time again. Can you please discuss supplements, what you feel I should be taking? I'm gonna preface this by saying, if you don't already know, I do work with Ghost Supplements. I am an athlete with the brand. I am privileged to get sent free supplements every single month. So what I am taking on the daily is probably gonna be different than what the average person takes because I am so privileged to work with them and to not have to worry as much about how much money I'm spending on supplements. With that said, I wasn't with a supplement brand for a long period of time, and I was still very consistent with the following things I'm gonna tell you that are in my daily routine. So if you do want to get any Ghost supplements, the link is down in my description. It's not a personalized link, but you can use code Kara at any point in time to get 20% off, and it lets the team know you support me, but you also don't have to get Ghost supplements. What I will tell you though when it comes to supplements is do your research in terms of what brand you're gonna choose and make sure that they have standards in place for the efficacy of the ingredients that they use, that they do third-party testing. You know, we're seeing a lot come out right now about heavy metals being in proteins. And so it's scary out there because supplements are not regulated the same way as the food industry. And even the food industry, I'm having some trust issues if I'm being dead ass honest with you, but we're not gonna go off track here. I just wanna mention that, you know, for a lot of people, for all people, I will always encourage doing everything you can via the diet first and foremost. A supplement is meant to supplement that. It's to aid and support you in what you're already doing. No supplement is going to be a magic wand. So if you are looking to transform in terms of weight loss, strength gaining, just feeling more energetic, well, pre-workout is going to make you feel more energetic, but you know what I'm saying. We always want to first start with food. Food is going to be the best source of getting the right nutrition you need. But understandably, not everyone's diets are going to be able to get everything in perfectly. So I'm going to run through what I take and why, and then I'm also just going to give you some general guidance to hopefully help you sort out what supplements would be best for you. So something I use day in and day out is whey protein. I use different flavors from Ghost. I love their vegan. Their Ghost Oreo is something that I started including in my morning protein coffee cold brew. This was the one thing that really it changed the game for me in terms of upping the protein I was consuming in my diet. I used to struggle to get 90 grams of protein to 100 grams of protein. Now I'm easily hitting anywhere from 120 to 140 grams every single day. And that for me changed the game with my diet because increasing the protein in my diet allowed me to feel more full, more satisfied, helped me to maintain my muscle mass, really changed my physique as a whole, honestly, and I attribute that to protein in my diet. Not just whey protein, but upping my protein in general. And many of us, what do we struggle with? Eating enough protein. And most people, it's tough to eat enough animal sources of protein to get the required amount of protein you're looking for. There's nothing wrong with supplementing with a protein. Yes, I use one that is Oreo. There is like maybe a half of a crushed up Oreo in one scoop of this. It's not that serious to me. But if you feel like that's unnecessary for your diet, then get a whey protein without cookies in it. You know what I mean? You do you, but protein actually is a very cheap source of protein, and it is an easily absorbed source of protein that your body can readily utilize. So if you are someone on a journey for weight loss, for increasing your muscle mass, increasing your strength, just wanting to feel more satisfied with meals, whey protein, not a bad option. Scoop for scoop, for 25 grams of protein, a lot cheaper than getting beef, chicken, even tofu. So always have whey protein, at least 1 scoop a day. It also works great for Ninja Creamies. I have tons of recipes on that. All right, let's talk about Ghost Intra. This was previously called Aminos. They revamped it. And this is truly probably a slept on product because I don't know if people realize everything that you're getting in one product. So Ghost Intra, this is something I always have in my routine. Jason and I will never be without Intra. It is your combination of essential amino acids and branched chain amino acids. It's the combination of the two in there. Reason why you want to supplement with this, someone like myself, I am not only strength training 4 to 5 times a week right now, but I am training for a marathon. So in effort to 1, maintain my muscle, and 2, help encourage recovery of those workouts, something like an Intra is so helpful to ensure that. And I'm 4 weeks into my training, and as I mentioned a little bit earlier, my muscle mass has stayed the same. So baby, we gonna keep doing what I'm doing because it's working. Not only do they have the essential amino acids in here, there's also some focus ingredients in here too. So if you're someone who does not want to take a pre-workout, but you're looking for just a little more focus going into a workout, maybe you work out in the evening. I'm actually going to do a run tonight and I'm going to take this before I run. There is taurine in there as well as KSM 66, ashwagandha if you're not familiar with that, and cognizin. So those 3 ingredients are going to help with just overall better focus without adding any caffeine to your diet. Next, the other thing they add into this product is hydration. So they also incorporate in here, in case you don't want to take something separate, a combo of pink sea salt, aquamine, and potassium citrate, which are all going to help replenish your electrolytes, intracellular, and keep you hydrated. Hydration is key to performance. So a lot of what I'm doing right now is focusing on performance. I'm focusing on recovery, and keeping my body comp looking banging is definitely just an added bonus. So something like this gives you such a good all-in-one. Now for me, because I am an endurance athlete and I'm running a lot and I'm sweating a lot, even in the winter, you sweat significantly. I mentioned this. I will replenish with additional electrolytes. So Ghost does have their own electrolyte hydration product, which is called Hydration. Best flavors on the market. They sell this in a few different forms. They have the little sticks that are so handy. I will never travel without these. So they have a few different types available. You can buy them in a bag where you get the sticks. They also sell it in a container where you can just scoop it out. And then they also came out with the ready to drink hydration bottles. Those ones are super tasty, but they're not high enough in electrolytes for me personally. So I do like to stack my scoop of Intra with a scoop of hydration. Lemon Crush and Blue Raz, or the Welch's Grape in the Intra. It tastes like juice, you guys. So even if you're someone who's like, I don't know if I need the extra hydration in my diet, you probably do. A lot of us are walking around dehydrated. If you're someone who's just like, I need a way to satisfy a sweet tooth to get a bit more volume in my diet, yeah, that would be an expensive way to do so, but I also use it in addition when I am just trying to sort out if I'm having a craving versus if I'm actually hungry. I like to do that via hydration and first, meeting myself with some hydration. And usually what I'll do is mix up that combo in a 24-ounce shaker, drink it up, and that usually gives me some good insight if I was just dehydrated, if I was just having a craving, or if I'm still really hungry, then I head to the kitchen and fix myself some food. But that is just a go-to combo. Couple other things I want to mention here. Those are like my main non-negotiables. I have one more that's during this training block a non-negotiable for me. And if you did not know, Ghost has their own joint supplement. So it's called Ghost Joint. This came out last year. It is in 2 flavors, orange cream and strawberry kiwi. And the ingredients on it are exactly what you would want to see from a joint product. You've got glucosamine in there and chondroitin sulfate. You also have curcumin in here that helps with inflammation. A few other ingredients in there as well, but those are the main call outs. Now for me, being someone that puts my body through a lot, whether it's lifting in the gym, I feel like I probably should be taking this all the time, and I'm just being dead ass honest with y'all. For me, getting into my running block, this is where I'm thinking that much more about my joints and the health of my body and making sure I'm taking care of it. And there's no better way to do that than getting in something that has glucosamine chondroitin in it. And so Ghost did a really great job with formulating this to be able to assist with joint health. One thing I will say about this though, this isn't something you take for 2 weeks and you feel it and you're like, my joints feel so much better right now. It's not how a product like this works. You have to let this build up in your system. And so this is something you have to commit to for a period of 2 to 3 months minimum is what I would suggest you do. And you would hope that you would feel a benefit by doing so, but it's not necessarily one of those things that if you are someone with super achy joints that you'll necessarily notice a difference, but that doesn't mean that it's not assisting your joints and helping with your joint health. So keep that in mind. You'll also notice in a lot of Ghost products, which I like, they add in an ingredient called estrogen. They always added, not always, but a lot of times they'll add in something to just help with overall absorption of the supplements that you're taking. So that's also another added bonus. All right, the next one I want to talk about, and I get a lot of feedback on this one when I am on social media on Instagram stories, because Ghost does a good job with doing deals on size. Ghost Size is also their creatine product, if you will. And the research that's come out on creatine monohydrate, creatine, is just so promising in terms of what it can do beyond just thinking about taking creatine to get stronger in the gym. We are now hearing research that creatine can also help our cognition as we age. So to me, that is huge as I am in this period of my life. I know Alzheimer's, dementia runs in my family quite strong. And so that's something that I want to take care of right now. what we do in our 20s will start to come out in our 40s. And what I do in my 40s, as long as I'm happy to be here still, will start to come out in my 80s. So I'm really trying to do all the things I can to keep cognition as tight as possible. This isn't something I'm necessarily focusing on in the gym per se, but this is something that can help you significantly if you are trying to gain strength in the gym. It will help you with that additional bit of power to be able to lift another rep or two. So it's not like you take this and just gain muscle from taking it. It works in combination with your workouts. So this one has 5 milligrams in here of CreaPure creatine monohydrate. That is the type I would recommend you to take if you don't get the size product. A lot of people ask me about dosing. You should take it every single day, regardless if you work out or not. It is something that builds in your system. A lot of people have mentioned getting some GI distress from items like this. It's going to depend on you as a person and possibly depending on the type or the brand you take. If you are someone who's nervous about that or feeling bloated, any of that GI distress, you can always start small and start with a half scoop, make sure that goes over well for a week, and then increase your dose. But arguably, creatine monohydrate is something that I think a lot of you, if you're into fitness, if you are concerned with just health and longevity, creatine is something to take a look at. All right, a couple of the last ones I will say don't take all the time, but it is up there in my top picks. I'm really good about eating fruits and vegetables. The average person is not, and every day I'm not necessarily great about it, but that is where Ghost Greens can come in. Ghost Greens, their formula to me is superior than a lot of other brands in what they put in there. A lot of brands either underdose the actual greens, where it kind of is like, what's the point if there's not even any green in it? This one has a nice combo of a lot of fruits and vegetables. I can't run through it all, but there is a ton of your super greens, just your really dark leafy greens that we know have a ton of nutrition and benefit. In addition, antioxidant reds, so very high potency fruits in here. So just a couple call outs: matcha, kale powder, wheatgrass, spirulina. We also have things like acai, pomegranate, blueberry, cranberry, etc. In addition to that, we also have gut health. I like that the greens also incorporates a gut health ingredient profile here. So in addition to that, you get prebiotics and probiotics. So I am not going to sit here and claim because you take greens, it decreases your bloating. I see a lot of people marketing supplements in that way, and I think it's a crock. It's a bunch of BS. But what I will tell you is taking something like this consistently, if you are not getting in enough fruits and veggies in your diet, which by the way, prebiotics a lot of times can come from fruits and veggies. Probiotics, you're going to get those from more fermented type products, things like kefir, sauerkraut, Greek yogurt, things of that nature. But if you're someone that knows you're not always good about fruits and veggies, this is something to have on hand to supplement the diet. It also tastes really freaking good, just mixed in water. I swear to you, this is not something you will have to choke down. This one's America Pop, and it truly tastes like a bomb pop. Yes, you can taste greens in there, but it doesn't taste bad and it's not hard to drink. So that's why I really enjoy their formulation, especially for how well it's dosed in terms of their ingredients. The other one that I love, and I have to be careful when I take it and don't take it, but I just got started back on Ghost Glow. This is another one that is sold in packets if you're better with drinking your supplements versus taking a pill. But if you don't want to have one more thing to drink, you could also buy the pill formulation. They are slightly different. Ghost Glow I really enjoy because it is a hair, skin, nail formulation. It has hyaluronic acid in it, which I find a lot of other hair, skin, nail products don't always have. So that hydration component in there is key for me. I started taking it again because we're actually having a winter here, so my skin has been super duper dry. Bro. my skin has been super dry. So that is one reason why I wanted to start taking it. I feel like it helps plump things up a bit. There's biotin in there to support your hair and nails. And then there's also DIM in there. I'm not sure if you're familiar with DIM, but that's actually a really good thing to take at nighttime. It can reduce stress and anxiety, but it can also have impacts on your skin, which makes sense. If we're stressed out, that can usually come to the surface level of our skin, our hair, and how things look if we are internally stressed. So keeping us in a relaxed state can just go a really long way. The downside to this, because of the biotin in there, just saying, ladies, if you're like me and do laser hair therapy, trying to laser and remove the hair, and it definitely increases how fast hair grows, not just on your head, but everywhere, if you know what I'm saying. So it's always a catch-22 how hard I go on the glow. Those are the main ones that I take consistently. There's supplements that I take beyond that as well. For instance, I will just mention, I take magnesium citrate at night. I have tried a lot of different things to really regulate my gut and make sure I am nice and regular, which I think is so important, especially as women. We should be pooping every single day. And if not at least once a day, more than that. And if you're not, that is something to check out. And something like mag citrate has helped me become more regular. So I no longer wake up with that morning bloating. I don't have as much GI distress, and I just feel so much better. And so that has assisted me greatly. So I personally take that every night. The other thing that, and I'm just generally stating these things, I'm not saying you have to do them, but depending on what area you live in, the sunlight, thinking about how much sunlight you are getting. It's really hard to get enough vitamin D via the diet. You really can't. You can get some, but you need that sunlight hitting your actual naked skin. It can't be covered up skin. And it gets really challenging depending on where you live all year round. So not something you have to just start taking, but I would recommend having your vitamin D levels tested, because we know, right, JJ, we know that low vitamin D levels can lead to issues with mental health, your overall mood. It's a really important vitamin in several of your body's metabolic processes. So if you are deficient in vitamin D, you could be potentially causing other issues within the body. So that's another one that I like to throw out there. And just, yeah, it's very individualized what supplements we need to take. Usually when I work with a client, I want to look at your lab work. I don't really recommend supplements to anyone until I have a full health history. I see your lab work, I know your symptoms, what are you dealing with, and then we can go from there. So I am sharing with you the things that I use to just really assist me as someone who's a fitness enthusiast. I am an athlete. I'm training hard. I'm running a marathon. I am a dietitian. These are things I take very seriously. So I'm sure I take more supplements than the average person, especially because I am sponsored by Ghost, but you know, some things to think about. So I hope you found this helpful. Those are my tops. With that said, I want to share with you a little giveaway opportunity before we close out the video here. I get sent so much from Ghost, as y'all probably know, and so they just did a recent launch of pre-workout, which I didn't talk about, but this is Legend, one of their pre-workouts. Sour black cherry is one of my favorite flavors in their energy drink. They just came out with it in Legend, their pre-workout. This has 300 milligrams of caffeine from natural caffeine, which I really appreciate how they do that in their pre-workout. I always take a little bit of a lower dose when I do it though. So the giveaway is gonna be, you are gonna get this container, unopened sour black cherry pre-workout. In addition, I'm gonna send you their brand new, it's so pretty too, but I definitely don't need another shaker cup, so I wanna gift it to one of you guys. You are gonna get these two sent to you just to thank you for being here. In order to be, let's see, In order to be entered for the giveaway, you only have to do a couple of easy steps. Number 1, make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. Number 2, hit that post notification bell. That'll give you the notifications each and every time I upload. Number 3, head on down to the comments and just share with me what you would like me to continue sharing as part of this Transform series. You can comment on something you've liked so far. This will be our 4th episode, or comment on what you hope to see in the future for this series. That's it. And then I will be choosing one of you. Just leave me your comment and leave me your Instagram handle. If you don't have Instagram, just write that. But YouTube doesn't like when you put emails in there, like thinks it's spam, so don't do that. But that's gonna be it. That'll be the giveaway. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, and I will see you in the next episode.